A quick and simple bean and beef enchilada. We're gonna quickly make a homemade enchilada sauce, or you can use a canned version. What I love about this is it's great for a weeknight, but it's usually a crowd pleaser and will make everyone in your family or just yourself happy. So let's put it together. As we start getting towards the end of summer, dare I say into early fall, that cooler weather will be coming even if it's not here yet. And that means we can start thinking about those warmer foods, those comfort foods, those casserole-like dishes. And you know, I'm in the Midwest, so we love casseroles. We love anything that really starts putting everything together in one dish to be baked in the oven. It's great for weeknights. It's great for after you work all day to come home, have it ready to go, pop it in the oven, or have the parents have it ready and then the kids can pop it in the oven. I used to love doing that when I would get home from school. But what we're doing here is a beef and bean enchilada. And what we're gonna start with is not a traditional or an authentic enchilada, but an American enchilada that's more of a Tex-Mex style. And so we're gonna start by making our own sauce, because I don't always have cans of enchilada sauce on hand. If you do, you can use that. But what I do always have on hand is a really simple blend of spices, some tomato paste, and some flour. So over here on the stove, you can see I have some oil going, and that's gonna be the beginning of our enchilada sauce. So we're gonna take our flour and some spices. So in here I have onion powder, a little bit of oregano, some cumin, some chili powder, a little bit of cayenne, you can leave that out or add more, and some garlic powder. That is the base of this flavor that is really going to carry this enchilada dish all the way through. So the flour is going to thicken it, obviously. The spices are going to flavor it. So we're going to put the flour right in this oil. This is what's going to give it a little bit of viscosity. And then those spices, and they're really going to bloom in this warm oil that we have going here. And what I want to do is just slowly mix this together until it starts to become almost like a paste, but also darkens in color. After about a minute or two of cooking, you can see it just starts bubbling and it starts just looking like a nice thick paste. And what that's doing is making sure it's activating the flour, it's cooking out that raw flavor, just like we would do if we add it to any other dish and want to cook out some of that raw flavor, like if you're gonna make a roux or some type of thickened gravy. So now what I wanna do is add a little bit of tomato paste. So while you think it's gonna be all like a tomato juice mixture, it's not. Has a very small amount, and some enchilada sauces have no tomato. I do like the tomato paste because I think it adds just a deeper, darker flavor and also a little bit more color. You can tell now, just within a few seconds to a minute, you start creating a fond on the bottom from that tomato paste. It's getting really dark in color, and that's exactly what we want because that's deepening and sweetening. So we're gonna add a little bit of salt just to make sure it's well seasoned. And then to this, we're going to add chicken or vegetable stock if you want to keep it vegetarian. So you can start with little amounts if you want to try to make it work in easier, but we're going to keep adding until it's completely smooth. Once you add all the chicken stock, you just want to bring it back to a simmer. Slowly whisk that whole time to make sure there's no clumps and that it's smooth. But once it's at a simmer, that beautiful flour that we really worked hard to cook through is going to just thicken this just slightly. Now remember, it's an enchilada sauce, so you don't want it to be fully thickened. It just has a nice viscosity. So I'm going to turn it off, let it cool slightly, then we'll just pour it out of this. We're going to keep using this to make our beef, to fill everything that we need for the enchiladas, and we'll be ready to go. We're getting ready now. I decanted all that enchilada sauce, so it's ready to go. It looks so perfect, and I love the color, and it's such a nice way. It takes like a few minutes. It's a super quick sauce, and that's why, you know, I know canned versions are quicker, and they can be used, and that's fine. This is really quick too, and I love that. So what I have here is that same skillet. Now this is gonna go in and put everything together and just cook our meat and everything. So we're gonna start with ground beef. To me, that's a really great staple to use because it's something you can keep in the freezer, something you can have on hand. So I'm gonna put it right in here and start breaking it up. And with that, while it's cooking, just to start cooking, I like to add the onion to cook with it. And then we're gonna add garlic and some jalapeños. But what I like is to let that onion just soften with it. Instead of having, you know, this is a weeknight meal. This is a quick, almost casserole-like enchilada. So I like to have these ways to have things be a little quicker. So I'm gonna add this in here, and then we can go back and we can keep chopping on some jalapeños, get the garlic ready, because I don't wanna overcook either one of those. The hamburger is getting partially done, if not close to done, and so I'm chopping up some jalapeños right now. Ran out to my garden, found one that was turning red because it was a little bit overripe. Jalapeños, any pepper, it turns a color when it's out there. If you let it on the plant for long enough, it ripens to a different color. What I am doing is removing the seeds. Now, jalapeños can be hot, they can be not hot, it can depend on the variety, on the year. And you know, if you really want to be adventurous, do not try this at home. But what I do when I'm doing hot peppers is sometimes I'll take a little bit of the pith and the seed, and I'll just touch it to my tongue. Okay, I get just like a slight tingle, but it's not that spicy. That's how I will check them. I'm not saying that's a safe way to check them. But if you're adverse to spice, use some bell pepper, use some sweet pepper, or one that just has more flavor to you than spice. That's fine. You know, recipes are versatile. What I like about jalapenos, they have a little bit of spice, but what to me they more have is some good flavor. And I really like the flavor of jalapenos because they have a little bit of that almost fruity pepper flavor, which to me is so good. To me, not only does it dampen out and get rid of some of the spice when you get rid of that pith and seed, but it also just takes away some unnecessary textures in an enchilada. You don't want those seeds that you're chomping down on. So if we look over, you can see that the hamburger is just about done. So I'm gonna grab my garlic now and these peppers. I did not want the garlic to overcook or these peppers. I want them to maintain some texture and structure, but you can see I was just breaking up this hamburger as it was really cooking, and it's just about done. So I'm gonna add these in, let them cook for a few minutes, then we can assemble. I let this cook just for a couple minutes with all those peppers and the garlic, which it looks beautiful now. Even the colors look good. So now we just want to finish this up. So obviously I want to season it with salt because at every layer you should season. That's going to give you a well-seasoned meal in the end, and use less salt overall if you do just add it in those increments that you need to while you're cooking. So we have a can of black beans that was drained and rinsed. This is going to add a great creaminess. It even ups the protein, and it adds a nice heartiness to it too. And I really love that texture. And then just a small amount of the sauce, because this is what's going into each of our tortillas to actually get rolled. And I don't want too much, I just want enough to kind of be able to stir it together. So once you get that sauce poured in there, you just want to stir it together. And that's just enough to kind of, you know, give a little bit of texture to this, a little bit of something going on, because that sauce is also going to get encompassed all around it. But look how good and hearty these are going to be. That's what I really love about this. You can see how delicious it's going to be. And you start getting all those flavors and smells from that enchilada sauce. So it's a pretty easy process from here. We're assembling at this point. What I did do is I shredded some pepper jack cheese. You could use a cheddar if you want to. Pepper jack is a Monterey cheese that has those beautiful peppers and kind of spices added to it. I like that flavor. I like that extra oomph at the end. And I always like to shred my own cheese. I think the pre-shredded cheese, it just sometimes has a weird texture. It can melt really weird, which I don't like. And it has like sawdust on it or something. It's just a weird mix. I don't like that. So I like to always make sure I shred my own. It's more creamy. It really is just, it's superior. So what I have is somewhat of an assembly line. And all I'm gonna do is make sure I add a little bit of everything. So we can put some meat, some beans, and then a little bit of cheese here. And you can see I'm just gonna sprinkle that right on. And then what we're gonna do, let me give a little bit more of that meat mixture in there. Just like the perfect amount is what we want here. And once you get that in there, and it's a nice hefty amount, we're going to just be able to roll it, and we're gonna put these right into our casserole dish. Now, this is something that I always think this part, if you want to involve family, kids, this is a great one to do because it's just kind of fun. And when you get people involved in food, if they're not used to eating it, it's a great way to do it. So then we're gonna put it right in here, seam side down. I'm gonna line all my tortillas up, and we'll finish it off. But it's a pretty fun process, honestly, from here. And you can see that it's not too hard. I just put the last tortilla in after I rolled it, and you can see they just fit. A little bit of the filling will come out the sides depending on your tortillas. Each one can be slightly different depending on brand. That's okay, that's part of the fun. So what we're gonna do now is take the rest of our sauce. Now, if a skin forms on top, that's okay. It'll just like stir it in. What we're gonna do is just pour this sauce over. And this is where I do like to be a little bit careful and try to just really encase them. I think that's just kind of the fun part. You don't want them to dry out. So having this sauce go evenly on can make that difference. Now remember, even though we homemade the sauce, it was really quick. And what's great about it is you can adjust it for your flavorings. So if there's something you're really liking or not liking, maybe even in a purchased enchilada sauce, this is a great way to then make it your own. Make it one that you like or your family likes, because I know sometimes, I grew up with a really picky sister. She's not picky anymore, but I now have a very picky niece. And so sometimes recipes definitely have to be adjusted for my niece. And I say, you know what, that's okay, we'll make it work. And that's what you can do when you make all of this at home. So once that sauce is over everything, we're just gonna take the rest of our cheese. I put some in the middle of each one, obviously as I was rolling them, but then I want the rest right on top. So it really melts in, gets bubbly in the oven. That's, believe me, that's where it's at. Because if there's cheese, there's not enough cheese. And there's always room for more cheese. So we're gonna put it on top. We're gonna sprinkle it around evenly. Then I'm gonna pop this right in my oven. And what's great is most of it is cooked through. So we really just need to make sure everything gets hot and bubbly. And then we can eat. You can see the enchiladas turned beautifully brown in the oven. That's what I love that cheese on top to do. They baked fully, so you really would just want them bubbling throughout to make sure everything's hot, everything kind of melds together. That's what the point is. It's a casserole at that point once you put it in the oven. So now I'm gonna try to cut them in half so you can see the insides as I take them out, because that's where, should we call it the money shot is? And so if I do, I've just had them sitting just a couple minutes outside, not too long out of the oven. So they're still gonna be kind of molten hot, but that's okay. So we wanna make sure we get down all the way through, because I want you to see inside of them. And then as we pull them out, we should get this like beautiful, make sure I get, there we go. But underneath those two, we'll pull these two out so you can see the inside too. Look how good those look. They look so good. And that's what I love about it. So on top, you can kind of make your own. You can build on top of this. You know, I have a lot of different recipes on my site that are Tex-Mex, from taco squares and enchilada skillet bake. And what's great about so many of them is you can build on top of them exactly as you want them. So personally for me, I'm always gonna have some avocado with it. So I have some sliced avocado here that I like to have with it. It's that cooling, kind of rich flavor to have with it. Maybe a few leaves of cilantro. And I know some people don't like cilantro. That's okay. Don't have them if you don't like them. I just love cilantro. It has that great bright flavor there at the end. You could do a squeeze of lime on it. You really could do so many things, and that's what's great about it. But at this point, even though they're hot, this is when you get to eat them and enjoy them. And these are perfect for leftovers. You can make them ahead, have them in the fridge, and then bake them later if you want to. But just make sure you get everything in one bite. You get that cheese in there, that bean. I love the enchilada sauce, if you have time to make it, because it has so much, just kind of like a simple flavor. You can really make it and just hone it into exactly what you want. But what I love is you get that melted cheese inside of it, you get the crusty cheese on top, with kind of that really darkened enchilada sauce that really deepens the flavor. The beans are creamy. You get some great texture still from the jalapeños. If you mix it with some great toppings, it really just comes together in that all-around meal that kind of seems to make everyone happy. Tex-Mex is one of those things, maybe it was just my family, but it really was always a crowd pleaser. Still to this day, my sister, for her family, Tex-Mex is on the menu weekly. So what do I hope you do with this video? I hope it inspires you to try something maybe you haven't tried, but also to see how easy some of these nostalgic at-home meals can be. You know, this is nothing new. This is not reinventing the wheel. What this is just taking one of those classics and making it today for our families, for our friends, whoever we're gonna gather around, whether it's just for ourselves, for leftovers. So share the video around, because if you saw something exciting, someone else might too. Check my website, wiseguide.com, for this recipe. All my other recipes are on there. They're all from my farm here in Iowa, and they go right to your table. So until next time, enjoy some good food, because that's the whole point. Bring people together.